So, Mark, you want to start off with prayer?
Okay. Lord, we thank you for how you blessed us tonight for this awesome camp and for this last talk that we're going to have with our young people. Give us the wisdom to know what to talk to them about, and then let them be brave enough to give the question they want answered. But Lord, let this subject be good, and let it be good, appropriate for them and used for them in their daily lives. And we give you permission to move and do everything you need to do in this thing tonight, God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So take it away, Mark Powell.
Oh, I got it took it.
You got it took it.
I'm getting spotlit and took it. Ain't that some stuff?
Exactly.
All right. Good to see you here again tonight. And it's always a good opportunity to be able to be with my friend and this family. These two are very special to me. These two smalls. You still like that? You still liking that ice from Sonic?
Yeah. No, I don't eat it that much anymore.
What?
Since I had graves, I haven't been eating it.
Well, you got delivered?
Yeah, I did.
Hey,
God will deliver me. Why should I be bound?
Shabba. Nemo. Good. It's because I remember one time we were going to the airport, going to me and your husband were going to the what's that thing, GMWA one time. And I think you had picked me up from I don't know how that happened, that we ended up riding together going back home or going to get him up. So I don't know what happened. But you had to stop by Sonic to get you a cup of ice. You probably don't remember that. I do remember the time though we went to the airport and Mike had too much stuff in his suitcase. You remember? Yeah. And we had to stand outside in the lobby and unload his suitcase because he just greedy of carrying everything on there that he didn't need to take.
Absolutely. After I instructed him and told him, I was like, honey, you can't take all this stuff. He still did.
15 pair of shoes for 5 nights. What kind of carrying on is that right there? I just want to know.
That's the microphone way.
And it's something. But y'all, the thing that me and him have went through the years of GMWA, we got some testimony. We got we got. It was one time we went. A lot of time when I would go back then, my faith was just, when you're young, you just go get it. You didn't care the circumstances. You just took a chance on everything. Every time I went, I didn't have a dime. I didn't know where I was going to stay or anything. I would just go by each hotel and just ask, y'all have room? Didn't know. So I get all my suitcase and roll down the sidewalk to another hotel. Y'all having the rooms? No. Then get to another. They finally said, well, we got one. Now, I'm not knowing how I'm going to pay for it at the end of the week. But all I knew is God was going to take care of it. So, but there was one time me and Mike went with I think it was his cousin, nephew or somebody. And I don't know if Mike is on or not, but you might remember. And we went down and we didn't have a lot of money. But we came back from one of the services, and the room, we kept trying to get our key to unlock the door, couldn't get in. I tried my key, still red. He tried his key, burnt red. So what's going on? It was because we hadn't paid for the room. So we were locked out. Man, we didn't know what we were going to do. So we just went back to the convention center, just like, okay, God, you got to make a wake up. We don't have the money to pay for the room. We don't know how we're gonna get back in it. And then it was a couple of young ladies that I had met that were going to their service, and they took us to the service, right? And and we rode in a limousine. I said, oh, okay, this one right. You remember that, Mike?
Yeah.
And so we got in the limousine. We rode over to the church, but all 3 of us got in there with them. Got there to the church. I think it was a storefront, maybe. It wasn't a storefront, but so we got up there and I started. Was I playing the keyboard? He wanted the musician, so I started playing the keyboard. I think, or was it drum? One of them, or was your cousin playing? Anyway, we started playing the music, and we got to playing the music, and all this stuff got to going. At the end of the service, now we didn't know where we were gonna stay that night. We just out there, flicked it. What old folk call. So we got out there, and after when the service got to the end, the altar call, he got to preaching and everything. He said, come here. He called us up. He said, the Lord telling me to do this. He said, the Lord telling me to give y'all this. He called each one of us up. I think he gave me 100 and gave you 100, didn't Mike? I don't know if he gave your cousin anything, your nephew, but he gave us, do you remember this, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, but he gave us money. And we got to the room and we had the money to go pay for the room and get something to eat.
Look at God.
God, you something else about yourself, man. He did, but that's just some of the story. I remember I lost a check. That was the same money for the pay. We walked off, was it Pittsburgh we was in?
You told them why we didn't have money, right?
Oh, that's when we didn't have the money.
No, you knew why we did. Did you mention that? I didn't hear it.
No, why didn't we have any money?
You lost your check?
That's when I lost the check.
Yes.
So you just gonna put all that out there?
That was in Philadelphia.
You just gonna drop that off?
Check.
So you just gonna put that down? Just
well, you know, I wanted.
So you calling me confident?
This part, I didn't know if you told the first part.
So now you done took all the glory from me. Now I don't feel it no more. The thrill is gone. It's just all gone. But I sure lost it, man. I don't know where I lost that check in. Yeah. And that lady, I had to go up there and get that lady to give it. Man, that was a whole nother story. But God, man, but we had a lot of fun before, but we had a lot of triumphs. But I want to talk today about to everyone. I'm trying to give everybody a chance to kind of get on to as well. And hopefully I can coincide with your wife on this. I want to talk to you about analog, being digital, being analog in a digital time. Being analog in a digital time. Now, we know those are different things. Analog and digital are two different things, but they're vital. And just like generations change, older generation, baby boomers and baby boomers, the Xers and the Ys and all these different generations that's coming up.
Yeah.
The who?
Millennials.
That's what I'm trying to say, the millennials. And then when I found out, I've been bragging so much about being a baby boomer, I found out I'm a Generation X.
Yes, you are, dear. So am
right at the end. I said, what?
Absolutely.
Hurt my little feeling. I like being a baby boomer.
No, sir.
And I'm an X. I'm a Generation X. Wow. But anyway, we got all these different generations that happen and everything. So, but we're living in a time of a digital age. And sometimes being analog, which is where we come from, and being digital, which is where you young folks are right now, can be a conflict. Let's just let me look at it like this. Look at it like this here. A cassette tape. Y'all probably don't even know really what a cassette tape is, but that's what we grew up on. You get a cassette tape, man. 8-track. No, that's before your time, Ms. Powell. You probably remember that. You probably remember 8-track. 8-track was this big old plastic thing you put in. It had 8 tracks you put on it, and there were so many songs on it. There was no fast forwarding. There was no rewind. You just knew when it got on a certain track. You knew, and a certain song came in that you knew that song was gonna be on another track. I don't know if Mike remember that kind of stuff or not either. But these were 8 tracks. Then the cassettes came out. Cassettes. Oh, you thought you was somebody when you started getting cassettes, man. Cassettes were expensive too at that time. And we would even use them we would put them in our stereo, and we would record songs off the radio if the DJ would stop talking in the middle of the song, especially gospel songs, stuff like that. We wouldn't go buy no records and stuff. We tape them off the radio. Then you came around when the CDs came about. CDs, now that was that was the first start of the digital age. CDs were very expensive at that time. People didn't know we still buy the albums and then we would buy the cassettes. But when you buy CDs, you had to spend like almost $20. When you get a cassette or something like that for like $8 or $9, $10. But those CDs were very expensive, but you could put all these songs on these CDs. So the digital age started kicking in. The thing is, the digital age, now you got what you do called downloads. Mm-hmm. They don't even make cars with CD players anymore because people download all their music and the movies and things that so they don't have hardware anymore. They get digital age. Right. Now, analog can also be like when we came up, we used a map. But now y'all use something called GPS. And you got this little thing called a phone. It's called the phone, but literally it's a computer that happens to make a phone call. Now, when the phone first came out, man, there was the big, you couldn't do nothing but talk on it. You couldn't even text on it, just talk. Had a big old bag phone and stuff. And you thought you was somebody, and you got charged by the minute to use this phone. And we would get on the phone like, man, guess what I got? Guess what I'm calling you from? Where you calling from? I got a car phone. Really? But when that bill came out, you just want to throw that thing in the garbage. But they would charge you by the minutes and everything, but things started changing. and you start getting these little hand phones where you could talk and do something called texting. Times changed. And when the texting came around, then it got to the point where these little phones started doing something else. You can use your GPS. They started replacing your camera, your camcorder, your GPS, your laptop, and all these other things. And now there are computers that happen to make phone calls instead of phones that happen to do other stuff. Now, we, in our generation, the analog age, we came up with rotary phones and the phone where you are, what was a battery charge? We had no battery charge back then. Back then, when your battery was going up, you put it in the freezer. And your 9-volt battery, you get you a few more minutes out of that bad boy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Now you got a battery charger. Boy, what we could have done with that technology back in the day. Ooh, wait.
Right.
And things just have changed. So you have the analog age and you have the digital age. You have what you call old school and what you call new school. Now, you new schoolers have to understand something. You would not even have a school to call new if it wasn't for the old school.
Right.
It gave you the foundation of being where you were, being where you are. And you'll think that, well, it came to the point now that you get a phone now that does all these things, and you got a 6-month-old that can take an iPad and operate it the way it needs to be operated. See, you all were born into this stuff. That's all y'all know. We fell in it. We still trying to find out where the power button is. How you turn this phone on? It's foolishness. But your thing is, you're thinking that the older you get, that the older folks don't know much. Right. And the old folks thinking that the young folk don't know much either. But whether you know it or not, we need each other because that digital age and the analog age have to work together. There would be no digital if it wasn't for the analog. You understand me? Now, what analog is when you have a cassette or you were singing to it, a cassette player, and we were singing into it, and the music would go directly from the mic to the cassette. Then it changed now, digital, and what you would sample the stuff that you're hearing, and you can take it and store it. It would turn into numbers, and take those numbers and store it into something like a CD or stored into a digital component. Now, and it will stay there. The thing about analog, over time, it degrades in quality. But the thing about digital, no matter how long you have it, no matter how long it plays, it never changes the quality of what it is. You can also take that digital and move it and place it somewhere else instead of having to re-record what you just said. So it's stored and can be used any way you want to put it. God has used the older people. Excuse me, the son trying to call. God has used us as older people, as analog, to be there and to be steady, and to be strong and in place. We don't move. Digital, when you're young, you're mobile, you're more agile. You can do more things than we can do, but we know how to do it, but we have to teach you to give you wisdom on how to use the knowledge that you have. I tell my son all the time, I say, son, you might learn that your GPS might take you different places, but sometimes that GPS takes you places that's not even really there. And you might get in a place that you don't have a signal. But I need to teach you how to read a map, because if that GPS goes out, you need to know how to use a map or read road signs to get where you're going. You feel me, son? He said, yes, sir. So, or you might use electricity, but the lights go out. You need to learn how to, the gas go out. You need to learn how to use a fireplace, how to start a fire. Mm-hmm. Now, fire is analog. The central heat is digital. You see what I'm talking about? We need to understand and appreciate what each other is doing instead of trying to downplay each other, thinking that the other one don't know much of nothing. If you don't believe that, look at the stuff that you're doing and how you dress. The way you dress is still the same thing we dressed back in the 70s. The hairstyles you wear, we had them same hairstyles. Wearing jeans with the bell bottoms and the flare leg pants, we wore those same things. We call them bell bottoms. And you could wear, you had those platform shoes. We had the same shoes back then, call them stacks. You had the wedge heel shoes, that is the wedge, We had them back then. I thought they was the cute little thing back then. We went in those bed shoes. We had the same thing. Everything you're doing is the same thing we did back in the day, but it's just called a different name. Even the dances that you're doing, it's the same dances we did, just have a different name. But what your friends are trying to do, when we try to teach you the values of the fundamentals of being from analog eras, you need to take that gracefully so you can apply it to your digital mentality. Mm-hmm. And we not trying to hurt you, but we trying, like the old folks say, we're trying to hope you. If that makes sense. Yeah, now, what era you came up in? You came up with no thing. Do you remember no digital phone? Not digital phone. Those are rotary phones.
Of course. I can remember
you don't know about a rotary phone.
I do. I remember my first telephone number, 324-5833. I can even remember hearing the sound of the rotary going back as you dial. Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm going to see if you thought saying that. What was the worst thing you hated about the rotary?
Probably, well, for sure that if anybody else picked up another phone in the house, they could hear my conversation.
Ooh. You probably never had a party line then. Y'all probably.
No, we didn't have a party line, but we had my mama on the line saying, okay, Teresa, it's time for you to get off the phone.
Wait a minute. And when you had the phone with the card, the card was short, the one that come out of the wall.
Right. It
was short. But when you thought you was somebody, when you went about that 50-foot cord, now you go over in the kitchen. Now,
oh, yeah.
It had all around that one nail. But the one thing I hate about the rotary phone, when somebody had a 0 in their number, and you got to go shit, and don't mess up the number.
You're right.
Oh man, you got to start all over again. Yeah. Right. So it's not like, and then you did something that we don't do now. You knew the number.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays, people don't know their own phone number. I work with the phone companies.
Yeah.
And they come in with problems with their phones. What's your number? I don't know. You don't know. Why you don't know your number? Because I don't call myself.
That's very true.
Really? Do you know your own number? That's my
answer.
Who that? Oh, that's you. Do you know your own number?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, I do it on occasion.
Oh, Lord.
But I'm old. I have an excuse. I'm old.
No, you can be old.
Nyla, do you know your number?
Who, me? What's that?
Do you know your cell number?
Who, me?
No, I was asking Nyla.
Oh.
You do? You know your cell number? I was asking. You do know your cell number? Do you know your mom's number by heart? You know your mom's number by heart? You do?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you doing good then. But y'all were smarter than we were anyway, so.
I don't know about all that now. They might have some thing going on. But the thing about it now, the thing is now people don't know each other. No, back then we knew everybody's number.
Right.
Nowadays, young folk, all y'all do is see your phone and you see the name and you hit it. You don't know what the number is. So you got parents don't know their children's number, children don't know their parents' number. It just, man, who they said that was Nyla? Who you said that was?
I'm sorry? Nyla.
Who was that? Nyla?
Mm-hmm.
Nyla. Do you know it, Nyla? I think her name Nyla. Do you know most of the folks' numbers in your phone?
Just my mom and my daddy.
You don't know your friends? You don't know your friends' numbers?
No.
Right.
So what now? Let me ask you this now. What would happen if your phone broke and you was in trouble and you need to call somebody and you couldn't get your parents?
I'll try to remember that number.
You said you don't know it. But you don't. Who else is on there? On here? Who else on here?
Who else? Like you got AJ, you got Xaria, Braden.
How old is AJ? AJ. Hey, AJ.
Yes.
Do you know? Do you have a phone?
I do.
You do. Do you know your parents' numbers?
Yes.
You do. You know it by heart.
Huh?
You know your parents' number by heart.
What? By heart.
You know your number. You know the number. You can dial it without looking for it. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Now, who is that, Mama?
Yes, it's me. Hi.
Now, do you know your son's number, Mom?
Yes, sir.
You do.
I do.
Now, I have a lot of parents that don't know their children's number.
I don't know one of mine.
Oh, there you go. That's because they change them all the time.
Oh, no, they've not. The only number I know in this house by heart is Michael's.
That's how you said, Michael, I need you to bring some bread. We need some milk.
That's because that's who I need. That's who I have to call on when I'm in trouble.
But what is the main thing I try to teach you, y'all? I teach my son, there are certain numbers you need to know by heart.
Right.
You don't just get the number and just start pushing the thing. I don't even do that when I call them. When I call my wife, I call anybody in my family, anybody. I never go to the phone and just hit the name, because if I start doing that, the phones would dumb you down. I would start doing it all the time. I won't remember their numbers. So every time I call, I always dial the number so I can keep it in my head. So if things come up, an emergency come up, the phone break down, I can't get nobody, I know numbers I can call. So you need to go ahead and try to dial numbers and not just hit the name. It's the same way with God. You don't just touch God's name, but you dial his number, or you dial his heart. Go to his heart so he can give you the answers and answer the prayers that you have for him. Because we're just seeking his hand to get what we can, instead of seeking his face and love him for who he is.
Right.
Things are not always going to work out that way. Now, there's another one on here that was named, who was it? Not Anaya, but there's another you had said that's on here. I forgot her name. Her name. Another young lady.
We have Braylon, we have Renaya, Exaria's on, Avery's on.
Oh, Avery is on?
I want to go next.
All right. You know anybody phone number in your phone? You got a phone?
Yeah, he's talking to you.
I have a phone.
How old are you?
9. About to be 6.
Wow.
You got a phone. So you know your mama number? Now, who is it?
This is Avery.
Avery. You know your mom's number?
Yes, sir.
Aww.
Does she know your number?
Hopefully.
She don't.
I don't know. I don't actually. Hopefully.
Mama, you don't know Avery number.
Her mom is not on here. Now her auntie does not know her number.
Oh.
Auntie. You don't know Avery number?
No, look, Mark.
Where my bill at?
Don't get Melissa started.
I'm about to find me a switch.
I was gonna say, don't judge me, Mark. I know my mama's number. I know my daddy's number, and I got 7 siblings. I know a few of their numbers. You don't got into.
She's a few that know. You don't know. How you might know?
Doing better.
I could have learned them all maybe back in the day, but right now, something happened.
It's too many things to learn, ain't it? And you know what though? I'm finding out it's not so much that we lose our memory and stuff, or we don't. It's that we have more to retain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got so much stuff to remember over the years. It's like, okay, I can't remember that. I need to write that down. I need to put a notation, put it somewhere. That just don't work. That don't work. So we got to we got to learn how to be, but we are analog in a digital world. Now let me ask you something. What's you and the militia and all the rest of y'all, the white young folks watch? What's some of the most difficult things you're facing in this new era of digitization? That's a word for the day.
Okay. New word added to Webster. Okay.
There it is.
You said who patient?
Digitization. That's a word today, doggone it. Don't be acting up.
I think my problem is primarily technology, but not so much with technology is a fear of messing something up. And I have to remind myself, you know, if you screw something up, you can just go back, undo it, because technology is just that advanced. You know, you just undo it and start all back over again. But in our world, you couldn't start back over again. You messed up, it was messed up. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's my biggest thing with modern technology now. But these kids, when I tell you, I can guarantee you probably could give Avery a job with her cell phone and tell her, or give her your cell phone and say, Avery, do so-and-so, so-and-so. And I guarantee you she could do it. Without reading the instructions, without anything, she could figure it out. This is just their age. This is their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since we are being honest, when it came to I made the slides that are rotating each day for Youth for Christ. I made those slides in Google Drive, and I made it in Google Drive for a reason, because when I was helping Avery with her homework, it took us a very long time to get it submitted when she had to do it in Google Slides, rather, because she wanted it pretty. And so when I got ready to do the Youth for Christ slides, I put the words in there, and then I told Avery, go make it pretty.
Exactly.
That's what she did. So those beautiful, colorful slides, because I could put color in it, but she was like, no, it needs some kind of
popping.
What is it?
Popping. It needs a little more color.
She said it needed to pop. It needed a little more popping.
That's my right word.
Yes, she's absolutely right.
So she put not just color, but she put some sort of fade and all the extra stuff to it. And that's why it's so colorful, because I knew, and that's why I did it in Google Slides, because I said, if I make the slides and give it to her, she'll make it pretty.
How old is she? That's Avery. That's Avery.
Yeah, this is Avery.
9.
And my birthday tomorrow.
Her birthday is tomorrow. She keeps saying that. So she wants y'all to know she will be 10 tomorrow.
Happy early birthday, Avery.
I think I found a quarter on the floor somewhere I can send her. Found one somewhere I can send her something. Hey, yeah, I need it. Hey, we getting her hair done?
Yeah, she's getting her hair tied up. Sorry.
I need to get a wash. Yeah, I need to get a washing set too. trying to give me a washing set. So, but but the one thing we had back then, we had race cars and stuff, right? We had them Hot Wheels, and we would use our imagination and rolling them down. We made the car engine and everything. Now y'all got cars you can get in, plug it up in my electricity, get in it, and drive away. Are you kidding me? We had to find a car that we could just roll around and make noise with. Man, what? That y'all just all the kind of stuff y'all got going on. We didn't have that kind of stuff. And you remember back in the analog days when Mom and them, I don't know if some of y'all still doing it, but you know, the living room, you was not supposed to go in the living room.
Right.
And they had that big old Ziploc bag around the couch.
Yeah.
And that plastic. You lay down on that bad boy and wake up to be sticking to you.
Yeah.
Because you sweated on it.
Time.
Yeah, and that's something. And so now you put, I never understood, you put that Ziploc bag on them couches. But you know, nowadays it's like, just give me the couch. Now you can spray some stuff on it. That's Scotch Guard. And that'll protect it. Times have just changed, but we have to change along with it. So, Michelle, what's your name? Michelle, Melissa.
Marq, Marq, I'm not doing this with you. Not after 20 years. I
got too many things to remember. I got too many things. You see this? You see this here? I got things to remember. I got things to remember. So what was I going to say? Oh, like Melissa, she knows about all this technology and stuff, but when she had enough sense or enough wisdom to say, you know what? Let me put this in a situation where this 9-year-old can take it over. Because this 9-year-old has more flavor in this particular area of technology than I do. And that's using wisdom. But the younger one was like, I know I'm not saying you don't know anything, Auntie, but I appreciate you trusting me with this so I can make it work and make it pop. Now it's pop. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay, I'm through talking now.
Say something.
I wanted
you just
to.
did.
No, I was looking at. I was getting ready to call her Erica, but it's Erica's daughter, Naya.
Naya.
And in the camera, I thought she was trying to say something.
No, I wasn't saying nothing.
She's so sweet. So Naya, anything that transpired these last 3 days, we've heard some really great motivational things come across that can really help you guys if you use it in your life and apply it to your life. We heard some amazing testimonies about one young man became a doctor, but he told about all his failures, all the things he had to go through, the different challenges he had to go through. And then we had another speaker today who was talking to us and telling us that there's so much out there in you guys, and that, you know, you guys have so much within you, so much potential within you. So my question to you guys, and that's AJ and Naya and Renaya, I think Renaya is on. What can we do to help you guys get to the next level? What is it that we can implement even in YFCC? Is there anything that we can start doing that would help you guys more to get to the place where we know God is trying to take you all? Any feedback on that?
I think maybe like more resources and stuff, because like when I get older, I wanna become a pediatric surgeon.
Okay.
And see different schools that offer that type of teaching.
Okay. So did you hear the young Dr. Chandler yesterday who spoke?
No, ma'am.
He's a surgeon. I don't think he's a pediatric surgeon, but he was a surgeon, and he was talking, and he was giving some really good information. So he gave us even his email address and everything. So if we can get that to you, that could be a resource for you to use, because he was more than willing. I mean, one of the things that he spoke about in great length was that there were so few people that looked like us when he was going through medical school and doing his interns, and how that made him feel. But then he was like, I did all this fussing and complaining to people, but then I found out that we weren't even applying for this stuff. We weren't even trying. So he is an advocate. He's somebody that you could really utilize to help you, you know, in the steps you need to take. And then Dr. Black was saying today, gotta read them. He's gonna take those tests for you. He's not gonna read your papers for you or do your assignments for you. So you have to play your part in it as well. But I think that's a good idea, that we could provide more resources for you guys to help you. And if you think of anything else, let us know. Especially, you know, let your mom know. Tell your mom, hey, call Cousin Michael and ask him, can he do so and so, or can he help me and so and so, or call Cousin Militia or Cousin Victoria. You have plenty of people. You have a support system that is unbelievable. Okay? And just know that. I mean, I know your mom is there for you and your dad, but you have an amazing support system, and we want to be there for you and do that for you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is AJ?
In the middle there.
I'm sorry?
He's showing on Orr's screen, so
okay.
He's available.
But what about Zaria? Where's Zaria?
Zaria's right there. She's under Simmons.
Is she on?
Yes, there she go.
Okay, talk to me, CP. What do you plan on doing in the future?
I'm not exactly sure.
Hey, pretty girl. What was that again?
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, so do you have any things that you really love or you're passionate about?
I mean, I like cooking and
You do?
discovering new things when it comes to cooking.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cooking? You like cooking?
I know one thing. I like eating, and I like
yes, sir.
I mean, I like eating that gourmet stuff. That stuff I can't make at home, which is quite a bit.
That stuff Mike make.
I'm sorry.
That stuff Mike make.
No, Mike can cook. I'm talking about I can't cook, but
I thought the gourmet cooking.
Yes, she can.
Well, anyways, so
she can make instant grits.
Marcus, hush! You took her place on the screen. Where'd my baby go? Oh, there she is. So I saw your dad chili recipe the other day. So do you ever get in there and help him out some? Do you ever get in there?
I'm more of like a baker. That's my brother.
Okay.
So
what do you bake? What have you baked before?
I guess.
I can't believe you growing up. Oh my God, I can't believe you. Oh my. So what do you bake? What have you been baking lately?
I mean, I haven't baked anything recently, mainly because it was just it would just be for us and half of us can't eat it. But the latest, I mean, the other stuff that I baked were cookies from my aunties, which was like a lemon cookie and like an oatmeal raisin type cookie.
Okay. Ooh, that sounds good. That's one of my faves, girl. That oatmeal raisin, it take me to the throne.
Oh Lord.
But I want you to know, I know you have your mom and dad there with you. Great support system. But we're here for you as well. Okay? So, you got a family full of cooks on this side. Everybody can cook probably. But even ideas of where you might want to go to school, if that's what you want to pursue, because you may decide later on, that ain't what I want to do. I want to do that on the side. Because see, that's the great thing about being who you are. You can do whatever you want to do. And you don't have to do just one thing. I know people usually say, well, I'm just going to be a doctor, or I'm just going to be a nurse. But you don't have to be one thing. You can be whatever you want to be. And you can be as many of those as you want to be. Now, some people said today, Dr. Black, that, they feel like people should kind of gear themselves toward one thing. And that's okay, because you can be great at one thing and really, 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 really good at 10 other things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so you don't have to, if you want to cook, you can cook, you can bake, you can teach cooking.
Right.
Okay, so Small, that was pretty good. Mike, get off screen. But anyway, so Mark, did you want to say anything else? I just wanted to hear from the young people, just to get some feedback from them on, all the stuff, because they have heard. I mean, I'm hoping they were listening, but there has been some. I'm talking about mighty words, encouragement and motivation going forth these last 3 days for those young people.
Yeah.
He doesn't say something.
Yeah.
You just did.
Oh, he did.
That's it.
There's AJ.
What's up, man?
No, that's not AJ.
Yes,
Is it AJ?
Yes, it's me.
Oh my goodness, you and Michael look so much alike.
No.
How old are you now, AJ?
What's 14?
Are you really? Oh, look at him trying to be shy. So did you get anything out of the last 3 days?
Yes, I did.
You did? Yes. So what are your future plans?
My future plans is to become a track star.
A what?
What is track?
I didn't hear him. What was that he said, Mark?
I think he only want to run track. What it sound like you said. That what you said, AJ?
Yes, sir, I did.
What you want to run in track?
Ooh, low.
800 to 400 and like all like distance, like except for the 1500 meter dash.
Oh, okay. I hear scholarship. That's what I hear.
I hear tired.
I know he got some long legs.
Really?
He got some long legs. Need to be
Really?
some long legs.
Man, I go out there and try to do that stuff now, man. I'm just tired from listening to them talking about them distances.
You just old. So
I'm older.
Oh, okay, older. So AJ, have you tried out for the track team at school?
Oh yes, I did, and I did make the team, but since the outbreak, we haven't went on our own.
Oh, okay.
What are you doing to train?
Huh?
What are you doing to train while you out?
I'm doing hills, you know, doing practicing like distant runs on the track.
Yeah, that's good, man.
That's great.
Because you know it or not, doing the stuff you're doing without coaches and stuff around right now, that's something that we have to do like David did. We have to motivate ourselves.
Yes.
And sometimes you got to push yourself. You got to go within yourself and dig for it when you don't feel like doing it, and nobody's there to push you. I'm proud of you, man, that you're still trying to do something even outside of school and everything.
That's awesome.
Zaria, you still there, baby?
Yeah, sir.
Now you say do you do any extracurricular things at school?
Before the lockdown, I did on the track team. I got on the track team.
Oh,
you did?
Yes, sir.
What were you doing on the track team?
Well, it was right before the lockdown, so it wasn't that much since I got there right before it.
Yeah.
Well,
but I think a year, about a little bit under a year before all of that, I was on a volleyball team.
Ooh.
You play
volleyball? Ooh.
Man.
That's awesome.
In seventh grade, I was on an archery team.
Did you say archery?
Yes, ma'am.
As in?
A bow and arrow.
Oh my goodness! Were you any good?
I was okay at it. I was able to at least hit the target in the close to the middle of it.
Sounds good to me.
Have an archery team?
Archery.
They have a team, she said? Or just
there's an actual archery team in Lisa.
Oh, okay.
Hey. So you had something you wanted to ask me, Mark?
Yeah, I want to ask you if you could go back and ask your younger self around when you were just coming out of teenagehood, going into young adult, what would you tell yourself?
I would tell me, for starters, to stay focused, to set goals, and to finish those goals, and keep my mind stayed on those goals, to avoid distractions, because there are so many things that'll happen, that get you off, that'll get you off your plan. Once like I told the young ladies the other night, I told them to write the vision, write it down step by step, and then, stick with that, stay focused with that. That's one of the things I would tell myself. I would tell myself from the beginning to not be afraid, to even in my fears, move forward. Even though I'm afraid of whatever, still keep moving in it. Not to let fear turn me around and cause me to not do certain things or anything like that. So I know I tell myself those two things. I would probably have told myself definitely to regardless to what my environment or regardless to what's around me. Because I wanted to be a broadcast journal. I wanted to go into broadcast journalism. That was my passion. That's what I loved. And I did think, yeah. And that's what I pursued. Even in high school, I was on the radio and television team. I did, you know, those are the things that I did. So, but when I got out there and I saw first of all, there weren't very many of me. And second of all, the opportunities that our young people have now, they weren't that available during that time. So money was an issue. Other things came up. And so it detoured me and I went another direction, but I definitely would have stayed in that field. And I would have told myself to stay there.
Wow. And I'm asking that because I'm gonna ask Mike too, so he can get his stuff together. And the reason I'm asking that is because the young people, I want you to hear this, because we were your age before, believe it or not. We were all your age.
Right.
And some of the things they're trying to tell us, like I said last night, sometimes we'll say today, like, if I knew back then what I know now, I would have did this and this. But believe me, we wouldn't have, because we were not ready to receive.
I applied to one school and was right here in Memphis. And my mother even tried to encourage me to apply to Meharry. Who knows? I may have applied to Meharry and I may be a dentist now if I had her. You know?
You look like a dentist.
That's what they said back then.
You actually do. I can see you in the coat. You actually look like a dentist.
So, you know, I don't know, I wonder sometimes, I feel like teaching is in me. The thing is, I like serving people.
Yeah.
The way it goes, I'm serving. And so, you know, I never really knew if I would really like dentistry, because I got friends that got in it that didn't really like it. He got out, went in the medical field, but he wound up going back to it. And so, you know, they always said dentists had the highest professional they had the highest rate of suicide in the professional field.
Really?
Dentists.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
For some reason, yeah.
I never heard of
that. I mean, because I don't even know how tolerant I could be. You know, I like making what was into something better, but I don't know how tolerant I could have be. Like me, I don't really even like a lot of foul breath. So, I mean, I don't know if I could have taken it. So, you know,
oh, Lord.
I wonder, did I take a wrong turn? Or am I where I'm supposed to be? Or did I fall back?
Victoria, silence his mic. Just silence his mic.
What now?
Nothing, I was just messing with you.
You know what, though? Speaking of that, about the foul breath stuff, why is everybody that got bad breath got a secret? I want to tell you a secret.
Marcus and Michael, y'all getting off focus. Y'all are all focused.
Oh, we lost them.
And they whisper with a lot of air. It's mostly air than voice.
Victoria, don't laugh at them.
It's all air.
Man,
just give me more voice and hold back the air.
It'd be like, man, your breath like you got a lot on your mind, dude. You need to stop thinking so hard.
The young people are listening. Mark,
really?
The baby's listening.
All right, don't hush.
Talk to the babies.
Okay, then I'm back on focus. Let me go ahead and go my little closing bang again. Listen, but young folks, I hope you hear these, that we go back and there's something. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Everything that go through your life has a purpose. Everything that you've gone through, whether you liked it, if it was bad, good, or whatever, there's a purpose for it, because the things that we go through developed us to become who we are.
That's true.
And now, one of the things I had real bad about, I'm gonna show you this thing right now. Now, y'all, don't you hold yourself when I show you this now. Be cool. Oh, that one thing look good right there. Let me see if I can get in there. There you go.
Who that?
Is it fading out?
I want to know who it is.
That's me.
That was back in 45.
Well,
When he was a part of the Temptations.
Yeah, this boy right here, I think I was like 18, 19, somewhere in there. And this young man had an issue with self-esteem because coming up, I had a bad issue with self-esteem. I always thought I wasn't good enough. I always thought that nobody, I had to just be extra to try to make things work. And I wasn't sure if somebody gave me the time to do it, I wasn't sure if I could do it. And it was stuff that came up when I was with my father. He didn't mean no harm or anything. It's just that every time he was sitting to go find something or whatever, and I couldn't find it, like a tool, he'd run up there, and when I would make a lot of noise, just make it seem like I'm looking for it, because I didn't want him to have to come looking for it. So, but when he came, like, boy, you couldn't find that tool. There it is right here. You know, and this made me feel a little bad. Now, it wasn't anything he was doing bad. It's just the way I was designed, that I just couldn't take a lot of criticism and stuff.
Right.
And the only way I could get it out was to relieve myself was through music. When I was playing the guitar, that's my first instrument I started playing, and would write songs and things of that sort. But this young man right here, he had a lot of issues. I mean, he was out front all the time, outgoing, outspoken, no sense, crazy like I am now. Always a people person. But when I got to myself inside, I was always wondering, I'm not good enough. I don't know if I can do it. But as I got older, and then I got married and everything, and then this kind of thing happened. Yeah. I don't know if y'all remember that or not. When I got 18,000 volts electricity and things just started going bad, and I was like, Lord, I don't know.
Right. Oh wow.
You know, these things was just doing a toll on me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure about myself. But then what I would tell myself back then, now I still had a goal, because I still have an unction because of the faith that I had in me because of God. That's how I would go to GMWA and write those songs and just go out there on faith, just go for it. Just didn't care what the outcome would be, just go for it. But I would tell myself back then, hey dude, God made you the way he wants you to be. He designed you for a reason, man. Come on. You are good enough.
Yeah.
You don't compare yourself to what other folks are doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, when you start comparing yourself with other people, only one or two things are going to happen. You're going to think you're a lot better than them, or you think you're not as good as them.
Right. Or worse.
But whatever God made you to be, that's good enough.
Yes.
You're designed to be and do what, like Mike wanted to be a dentist, but in his heart, he wanted to teach. So there's nothing wrong with having a want, but he yielded to what God you want him to do. He's an awesome teacher.
Right.
You know, so that's the calling that we're having. So we have to listen to what God is saying. I didn't design you for that. I know that's what you want to do, but this is the purpose I made your life to be right here. And when he did that with me, and I started writing the songs, and I started doing it. Even as I got older, as an older adult, I still had issues with being good enough. As a musician, I didn't want to play in front of other musicians because I didn't think I was good enough. I'm talking about grown.
Yeah.
When I would write songs, even when I went to GMWA, Mike, my songs, I would go out there and say, man, I don't know. I hope my songs are good enough. I hope I can teach it right. Because these folks go up there, and I always feel like I had to hurry and get out of the way. Everybody else can take their time limit on me. I feel like I had to hurry. I got to hurry. And I would just always move fast. And had this issue with low self-esteem. And God had to deliver me. But I'm all out there being all out front, doing all this stuff. But man, even when I preached, I was wondering, Lord, am I okay?
Am I good?
Did I do all right? And people don't understand that. That's a thing I had to be delivered from.
You know, Marq, with you saying that brings another subject up. Is that we are our worst critic.
Yeah.
We are hardest on ourselves. And I know the young people are, because I used to hear Justin talk about, we would go play, he would play ball or whatever. And I would hear him talk about how great all these other players were. But when he would come back around to himself, it was always, but I didn't do good. He would get angry with himself. We are our worst critic. And if we can learn to appreciate what God has put in us. Like you were saying, when you go to GWA, looking at the others, they had no problem, you know, taking up the time doing what they want to do, but you were always questioning yourself. And I think that's something that we all do a lot of. And I know the young people do it. So how do you get them to the point where they know you are good enough? I mean, you can keep telling them and keep telling them and keep telling them. But is there anything else we can do? You know what I'm saying? Is there something else we can do to help them?
I think we got to teach them some kind of way to have confidence in motivating themselves. You know, like David had to encourage himself. You know, like I used to tell the kids all the time, Mom, we can push you all the time, but you got to get to a place to where you are self-propelled in some kind of way, just like you're talking about. Just to me, Justin is the type where he doesn't really, he likes to come up with it his own. He doesn't really just say hear others really well.
Yeah.
He got that from somebody. He didn't get that from me. But they got to come up with it for themselves. You can't convince them. They got to come up with them. You can't.
I'm gonna need you to take that they out.
Nobody can get in their head. I'm just talking about not.
I'm just messing with you.
Him or you, but I'm just saying some people have it to where if they don't see it, you know, it's like a person who's bulimic, anorexic. You tell them this. You tell them, can't you see you skin and bones? But to themselves, they look like they're fat.
Right.
So some kind of way we've got to find a way to change, to channel that thinking into being able to. I know they at church, they teach us to self motivate.
Motivate, yeah.
You know, you got the self-esteem, they got a whole bunch of self things there. If they do it themselves, it's more sure than somebody pushing them there, because we keep taking. But once we stop, then they may stop. But they got to find a way to pull from out of themselves a way to keep them going. You know, like I was telling Justin, you know, like if he had a bad game on the first half, I said, you got to be able, I said, you're going to have some, no, this was an example. It wasn't like he had one, but I was trying to tell him, you're going to have some bad games.
Right.
I said, but you got to learn to let somebody get in your head, or you got to learn to do it yourself, because a team can go in, they can be losing bad, and they go in that dugout. You got a good coach who knows how to get in their head and come back out, and they can take over.
Absolutely.
But if you don't let nobody get in your head, if you said, okay, we done lost this game, you got the same amount of time this second half as you did the first half
to turn it around.
The whole thing around this second half. But if you have already fixed in your mind that you can't do it, you know, I look at the movies all the time. You got people, I'm like, how did dude let this little old somebody like that beat them? Because in their head, they're like, well, I can't whoop them. So sometimes they don't even put up a fight.
Don't even try. Exactly. And see, that's young people, that's what we want you guys to know, is that we're here to support you, and we're going to support you, and we're going to push you as far as we can. But like Brother Small said, at some point, you've got to start to self-motivate. You've got to start telling yourself, look, I'm good enough. It's that whole affirmation thing I was talking about the other night, talking to myself and telling myself. And you don't realize how much life is in your speaking to yourself and telling yourself these things. Look, I'm just as good a ball player as he is. Let me get out here and try this thing again. LeBron has bad nights. People can try to say that he didn't, but Jordan had bad nights. They all have bad nights, but they don't let that thing stop them. The next game, they're back on point. And most times they would be even more aggressive in proving themselves because of those bad times. So we want you guys to learn how to get to a place where you can tell yourself, I'm good enough. I'm pretty enough. I'm talented enough. I am so, because God made me, and I know he didn't make a mistake in me. He made me like this. And stop talking, get out of your head with negative. Bruce Ma was talking about talking to yourself and getting in your head or letting somebody else get in your head. But if it's gonna be negative, get out of your own head. Stop that stuff in its path. Tell it immediately. Look, I'm not gonna listen to this. I'm not gonna even deal with this right now. And that's what we want you guys to be able to do. And I am finished for tonight. So
yeah, me too.
Paul and Mark, y'all can just close it out. I'm through for tonight.
Yeah, I'm done too, because I know they want to do the awards and everything.
Tracy, yeah. Just so you know, you can't go to bed till I go to bed. This is what that? I said, you can't go to bed till I go to bed.
Okay. But let me say this too, though. Today, earlier, Dr. Black was talking about thinking, how was he saying it, Mike, when he was talking about, what was his topic? You know, he get excited and you don't keep up with him, he'll lose you. But Victoria, you remember what he was saying, or did you?
Specifically what you're talking
about. He talked about like, what if you don't succeed? What difference will it make, and how it would make a big difference? You know, how exactly it could be you who it will be you. You know, right. to right. cure something, to be successful in this world. So it's like absolutely. You can't look at your life and go, well, I don't have a purpose. You have to realize if you're here on this earth, God has a purpose for you. Absolutely. You have to claim that purpose. Absolutely. And be willing to live and walk in it. And when Satan because he'll try to attack you and feed that you don't have a purpose here. Absolutely. But you have to know God has a plan for you. And it's better than anything. This stuff that we think we can do, what God has for us is so much bigger than that little box we put ourselves in.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? You got a very good point right there. I'm trying to hear him hush. You got a very good point right there, because we have to realize everything that we need is already in us. If you have God in you, do you already have the resource that you need? You just have to tap into and allow him to let it come out of you. And that's what I learned. Even Mike, you might not realize it. When I first started to come to your campus stuff, I was having that same issue. You didn't know it. No one knew it. But I was, am I good enough for him? Am I going to do it? I had those issues. But then now, and even as an adult now at this time, that I'm really at the phase now, I started my own company, Marq Powell Enterprise Consultants, and traveling, teaching. Now I'm training CEOs and doctors and lawyers and all these kind of companies and everything. And then started the motivational videos you've been seeing on YouTube that I started doing on my YouTube channel. And then doing stuff like this. And now doing other things, it's not, I said, it's not too late for me. I might be older, but it's not too late. My purpose is not over yet. Absolutely. And this is for us grown folks now, because you grown folks, y'all gonna get our age too. But your purpose, my young folk, old folks, our purpose is not over. If it was, we wouldn't be here. Absolutely. So until we leave here, go for your dreams. You might still won't be there, might be coming to dentist, Mike. I don't know. Close somebody grill out. But anyway, I'm done. So, but start with your own grill, Mike.
I don't even want to start. But anyway, so we're gonna I guess we're ready to close out for tonight. And I hope, young people, that we said something that will encourage you. And y'all just stay focused. Just write, like I told you the other night, write your vision, write your goals, write them down. Every step, even the most minute things that you want to do, write it down. Give God something to work with. And then stay focused, stay on point. Next year, this time, I want to come back and I want these young people that are with us tonight, I want you guys to express the great things that happened to you throughout this year up until next year's point, because you applied some of the things that you heard these last 3 days. And we look forward to that, because we want you guys to succeed. We want y'all to go beyond where we are now. Pass us and supersede us. That's our expectation and what we're asking for from you guys. So did any of the young people want to say anything before we close out? Do we have any left on, Victoria?
We have Renaya, we have Exaria, Braylon, They're being quiet, but they're on there.
Okay.
So
Well, they're listening.
I hope they're listening. I think they're listening.
Believe they are listening. So Renaya, did you want to say anything? Or Braylon? We hadn't heard from you guys tonight. Okay, I'm gonna take that as a no.
Can I say something?
Who are you?
Renaya is about to say something. Renaya is about to say something.
Wait a minute, you said what now, Victoria?
I said Renaya, she came unmuted, so I think she's about to say
Okay, Renaya, did you want to say something, sweetheart?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm really thankful that y'all did this, and I really like the opportunity to come on Zoom because I never did Zoom before, but I really miss us going to the camp and stuff.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed y'all. I had a nice time on here listening to y'all.
That's awesome. Well, you know we love you, baby girl. So, and Renaya, you're getting ready to go into your senior year, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, she's about to be a senior, guys. So we got to really put her up before God. And
why I thought she graduated?
No, not yet. And we're expecting great things out of her. I think you want to go into nursing, right, Renaya?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so she's going into nursing. We don't know. We might have a nurse practitioner or nurse. They're doing all kinds of stuff now.
Have you looked into where you plan to go?
Can you repeat that again? I couldn't hear you.
Have you looked at the schools you plan to go to? If you go in your senior year, you need to start looking at colleges that you want to go to.
I think she already had.
You got one picked out?
My mama really told me, she was like, because I had called Bishop on what I wanted to do, because I couldn't make my mind up if I wanted to go to the military or college.
Okay.
And he gave me some good advice. He told me that I should just do 2 years in college, and then after those 2 years, he was like, then I should see what I want to do in the military, because he was like, by the time that I'm out of college, he was like, I'll have a high rank and I'll be over stuff when I know what to do when I get in there. And I was like, so I'm gonna do that. But mama recommended me to go to U of M, but I told her that I didn't know yet, so I'm gonna continue looking at colleges.
Okay.
Well, I will tell you this, and I know you're not from Arkansas, but my alma mater, Harding University,
amen,
I had this top nursing program in the state of Arkansas. So, thought I'd throw that in there.
Right, Mark, right.
But they give a BSc and it's a 4 years, so you get a Bachelor of Nursing when you go to that school. But it's a top program in the state of Arkansas.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out. Yeah.
And then of course you have Baptist School of Nursing here, and
yeah, that's the thing about most of the hospitals here. Methodist, where I used to work, Methodist, they call it Methodist University now.
Right.
So most of these Baptist Methodist, a lot of them have nursing schools. And what another thing that might help you too is, look like she's trying to block me from talking or something.
My leg.
Oh, okay. Every time I talk, she put her shoulder in my mouth.
Lord have mercy.
You better be glad it ain't the elbow.
Actually, I'm down here on this floor and my knee is scrunched. So I'm just
they call that old.
Yeah.
Well, that's called inflicted.
You might try, if you're interested in nursing, you might try to get you a part-time job or something at the I don't know what tell you try to do that now at hospital.
Right.
with
Rona
still going on.
Right.
But because a lot of times, even when I was going, that they had nurses, they would offer us to go into nursing school, and I think they would actually pay us to go, pay us to go through it if you promise to stay at that hospital for 2 years. You could get your tuition degree. That was back in the 80s when I was working at Methodist Hospital. So anyway, you have a lot of options, but you really need your 11th year to be trying to explore them all. Don't wait on your mom.
Yeah.
Don't wait on anybody else. You go to that internet and you start searching because there's a place for you.
Well, you know what, Renaya, I do commend you for the fact that you did speak with Bishop. Yes. And you did listen, because a lot of our young people don't want to listen to instruction, but you did listen, and I commend you for that. That's really a great move. I think that's great.
But your main thing right now, focus on getting those grades this senior year.
Yes.
Because all your grades from the 9th grade up to the 12th, they're going to average them out to determine what your grades are going to be. And that's going to determine how many kind of scholarships you think you're going to get.
Yes.
Exactly. So you want to make sure you focus. I don't care how you teaching, if hybrid or traditional, however they do in school this year. Focus. This is going to be your most important year. You need to focus on those grades, so they can average out if anything was slack in the first 3 years. Okay.
Okay.
So it continue to get those scholarships.
Start applying for those scholarships, because they have deadlines, and they only got so many. If you got several different scholarships that they give out, but they only have so many of them, and you may have a better average or a better score than some of the ones that have submitted. But if they submitted in time and ahead of you, you can still miss out. I know we had a little cousin with their Lighthouse before you got there. She had 23 on her ACT. Now in the state of Arkansas back then, that was enough to get her half of her tuition.
Ooh.
But she was just too late for everything. She was just too late.
Well, just know if you need any help or any assistance, you got plenty of people to support you, so you can always reach out.
And do some ACT prep. And do some ACT
prep. You used to be a principal, didn't you? Marcus, weren't you a principal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a good voice to listen to. He used to be the big man.
Now I'm the bigger man.
Okay, whatever.
Don't do that now. I won't tell you to say ho, ho, ho.
Okay, you know what? It's time to close out. Okay, so Mark, can you close us out with a prayer?
Hold on, before you say something, I want to say
something. I forgot about you, Jennifer. I'm sorry.
I just want to say that I appreciate this whole thing, because I mean, the pandemic, this stuff that is going on, I enjoyed this at this time. I'm listening to everyone and their motivation. They're actually giving me pump at my later years, but I mean, I had it in my head of what I need to do. But listen to Tracy. I am beginning my own vision board now.
That's good.
And I'm actually motivated by everyone that I have began to see in this camp.
That's awesome.
So I just want to thank Michael for the 25 years and plus from the beginning of 1997. When I seen all this going on, I knew I wanted to be a participant or doing something, being involved in this. And it helped me so much. I mean, I have grown from the years that I have been in this.
That's great.
And so y'all pushing me further.
That's right, because there's still more to go. There's still more to go.
I'm still growing.
That's
growing.
Right. That's right. I'm sorry, Jennifer. I wasn't trying to ignore you. Girl, I'm getting older. I just forgot.
It's okay.
Okay, sweet. Did Avery want to say something else? Yeah. Hey, Avery.
Hey.
Did you want to say something, sweet doll?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So thank you for letting us join this camp, because I learned a bunch of new things.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Avery. You so precious. You are so welcome. Did any of our other babies want to say anything before we close out with prayer?
I did.
Okay, AJ.
All right. So like a question, like, did any of y'all like run track at like a college, you know? Like
AJ, I played a little ball, but baby, cousin Teresa, no, she can't run. No.
Hey, I shot 20. I shot 5 baskets at a free throw. I didn't think I could ever do. So, hey, I understood. I done got old.
The last time I played with my boys, and I almost broke my hip. So I'm through with this stuff.
Something I would like for those out there in Facebook world, for the kids who are watching, the adults who are watching, we have the Youth for Christ page. If you have questions that we haven't answered, please put them out there. There's so many different people from so many different backgrounds that can help share their resources with you. Like we, you know, I didn't run track, but if we do have somebody who's watching who did run track, who can maybe give him some input, you know, just drop a note in the YFCC on the Youth for Christ page, so that questions can get answered. You know, if you have a question in your youth, you know, make sure you got your parents' permission. Post it on YFCC. But that's what we'll be here for. If we can't answer them tonight,
absolutely
answer them later.
That's great, Victoria. That's really good.
And IT people, y'all did a good job.
Excellent.
Thank y'all for doing what you did.
I think you guys have set a new bar.
Lord.
So now you have people that is looking at this, and you know, when we go on, there's someone else that's looking at this or younger than us that can do the same thing that you're doing.
Exactly.
So we're motivating you to see what we're doing now. And if you're in that field that you like what we're doing now, this is what you need to learn. It's how to do it.
Mark was going to say a quick prayer.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
Marcus left, so.
I'm here.
Okay. You going to say a quick prayer before we turn it over to Michael?
And don't forget, just because you're in the world, when you hit, you light up. Okay, Lord, we thank you for how you blessed us. Thank you for this wonderful time. Thank you for this communication, and hopefully these young people can use these things, and this recording of this thing can be used in perpetual generations.
Yes.
Let this new thing that we've established in this camp go in levels that we never thought could go before. Again, thank you for the people that you use, Teresa and Michael, and thank you for using them, Lord, as an instrument to do this thing. Continue to bless them and strengthen them, and all the sacrifices they made, they come back to them in ways they never thought before. And when they receive those things, they know it's because of all the efforts and all the seed they planted in the things over 25 years. Yes. And all of those that were involved in those that helped, and those especially this year with dealing with the IT department, and all those that put out the information and coordinating and everything. Let everyone be blessed. Let it all come back to them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.